The Health Department is running a program across the country to assist former miners who became infected with tuberculosis and silicosis between March of 1965 and December of 2019. Now, this is in order for them to receive compensation. The campaign, which started in Kwazulu-Natal this week, is moving to the Eastern Cape. Let's find out more about this program, and we're joined now by the program manager at the Compensation Commissioner for Occupational Diseases, and this is an entity of the Department of Health, Dr. Mpho Rabada, talking to us from Sandton now. Dr. Rabada, thank you very much for your time. Let's start with why this program was started in the first place.
Thank you very much for having me, and greetings to the viewers. Maybe let me just start by saying, in terms of the 1965 to December 2019, with reference to tuberculosis and silicosis, that is a terms of reference for one of the partners, which is Siamiso Trust. So in terms of the Medical Bureau of Occupational Diseases, it's actually broader than that. So it's silicosis, it is TB, asbestosis, coal workers pneumoconiosis, so that has to do with coal dust, and some of the obstructive airway diseases that you could actually get in any type of mining. So why are we doing this? Actually, it's just a continuation. We were from Northwest, we went to KZN, we actually concluded the Eastern Cape, and we'll be going to the Free State. And the reason is simply that when you work in the mines, you are exposed to dust, you are exposed to radiation, heat, etc. And some of these diseases, they only manifest once you've gone, especially silicosis. There is a concept called latency. So latency means that you get the dust into your lungs, but as the dust causes an inflammatory response, you only get fibrosis or whatever it's called as silicosis 10, 15, or 20 years after the exposure. So therefore, that is why we're calling this a surveillance program. So where we go and we check that the miners, their health risk status, to see if they've got these diseases. If the answer is yes, to see how we support them, but primarily to be able to compensate them for those diseases. So that is primarily the reason why we are going there. And the second part is that also in terms of the people are owed money in terms of pension and provident funds, you'll find that they have left without being paid. So that is, to the tune of about 5 billion. So as we do these surveillance programs, we also check if they have those pension funds due to them, so that you can then pay them everything that is due to them. I think that I've summarized it, in a manner that I think is more palatable. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let's then pick up on how easy or difficult has it been to trace either the miners themselves or possibly their dependents, because some of them could have possibly have died by now. And how many people are you targeting here?
It's a difficult one because you will find that the migrant labor system, let's start there, is that people move from the previously TBVC, Transkei, Botswana, Venda, etc., and Mozambique, Lesotho, Zambia, Malawi, and they come to South Africa. Those from SADC and those who were in those states where came to Gauteng, and Mpumalanga, etc., depending on the commodity, and even there, because of mines opening, closing, they then moved. So what happens is that you've got multiple addresses, and as you go there, you don't find people. You've got multiple phone numbers, you don't find people. Even at the labor sending area. So we're hoping that with this sensitization, people, as they hear from radio, from TV, then they will say, you know what, actually I've worked, let me just go check. And therefore, we will also get that opportunity to actually check that they've got these diseases, they've got these pensions that are due to them. And remember, this is money that is there, so it's not money that needs to be sourced. And you've mentioned something that's very critical. I mean, the COVID, as an example, there was a lot of people that died, and therefore that's why we are saying we need to push on to actually make sure that we find people before they die. But in the event that they have, you have rightly articulated that their dependents will then be able to access that money, obviously through prescribed processes.
Yeah. All right. Is it possible, Dr. Rabada, that this program of the Department of Health was simply started out of nowhere, or could it be connected to that classic, or should we say, class action lawsuit of 2019, and it was against the certain mining companies, and this was led by one of the well-known human rights lawyers, if you want to describe him as that. Could this case be Richard Spoor? Yes. Could this case or this particular program be linked to that particular court case?
I would say that it started before the settlement, actually. As these case was negotiated, etc., triggered, a few steps. But in fact, the Mpho Trust, which is the result of that settlement, has joined the department in these outreaches. So the outreach has always been there. And we've just made it easier for the Mpho Trust that wherever we go together so that we can find these people. And remember, the scope of Mpho Trust is TB and silicosis only, whilst the Department of Health, the scope is broader. Cancers, as I've said, asbestosis, OAD, coal workers pneumoconiosis. So that as a package is much broader. And I think with the Mpho Trust, then we've got a much, bigger quantum in terms of paying the people as a result of that court action. So the short answer is the program was there before the actual conceptualization of Mpho Trust. Okay.
All right. So let's conclude the conversation then with the question around how many people are targeted by this outreach program. The reason I'm asking that is that the understanding is that you are hoping to find about 1 million people, which then prompts another question about how much is a beneficiary entitled to, or possibly their family may be entitled to.
Yeah, that is the figure that we are targeting. Inclusively all provinces, etc. And in terms of the quantum, it depends on the disease you have. It's a sliding scale. It could be anything from 10,000 some, but on average, the quantum for the Mpho Trust will be around 250, and from the MBOD, COD, it's about 169, and then if you've got other pension funds, etc., so it's additive. There was one person who, in the Free State that we found, who was paid about 1.4 million. And you would imagine, including the pension, obviously, you would imagine that for that family, it was poverty alleviation. These people lived in an informal settlement. So such stories, buoys us to actually go across the country ensuring that we find these people. And I think as part of the engagements on television, we're thinking that we will get to that target.
Yeah, so 1 million people. Okay, the number to contact or details where people could find out more about this program. Someone listening may say, I have a relative who possibly died of silicosis or TB, and they were a former mine worker. How did they get a hold of you?
Yes, we've got a number. We've got a call center which is meant specifically for this program. And the number is 080 100 0240. Or maybe the easier way is 080 1000 240.
1240.
240, yeah, 240.
Okay.
So 080 1000 240. And then the other one is 072 557 8077. So if this is a please call me, we are able to call you back so that, we afford you the time and the space to, to have more informed conversation. As you know, people don't have airtime. So with these two, you will then be able to get the gist of also whether you qualify or you don't, or guidance in how to access these services.
Okay, all right. Let's just repeat that WhatsApp line: 07255
8077.
8077. All right.
That's correct.
Thank you so much. That's Dr. Mpho Rabada. He is a program manager at the Compensation Commissioner for Occupational Disease. This is an entity of the Department of Health.